Right, hello people. Thought I'd do forward-facing video. I've got Studio Series Coronation Starscream to look at. I've also got Earthrise Starscream. What I thought is, I think these two are practically the same. Just this bit comes with the throne, I think. But I thought it'd be useful, just as I'm going to open it anyway, just kind of, not exactly a review, but just see what the differences are, if there are any. I've kind of opened it up already here. This is part of their new thing where there isn't any plastic packaging. Obviously it's Coronation Starscream Studio Series, so it's off the cartoon movie where he's just been crowned just before Galvatron comes in and gets rid of him. You see nice box art. You've got ramjet and thrust on the side there, and you've got Smirky Starscream leader class, although I believe the figure won't be a leader class. 39 steps of transformation, and it says big screen inspired, scale, detail, backdrop, and then on the side here it just says All Hail Starscream. Backdrop included, and then it looks like it comes with these other pieces which are part of his thing. So let's open it up, see what we've got in here. So I'll just show you a second. Just get everything out. So obviously at the bottom here you've got his instructions, the box. You get the kind of stage, if you like, of him on Cybertron there, so you can place that up and place him on that if you wish to. I'm just going to put that off to the side there for now. And then you get Starscream himself. There does look as if there are some differences, so that would be interesting. So here he is in the thing, and what it looks like, just at first glance, is his hands are different. Looks like the face is the same. Crikey, I can't see what else is different. There might be a couple of different paint apps. I think the colours they've used on this one is slightly lighter, but he's got this thing where his hands on this one looks as if they kind of open up rather than a solid type fist. But other than that, I can't really spot many differences when I look at them side by side. And then you've got everything kind of packaged on the back here, so you get his cape, his kind of base stand and everything else like that. So we'll try and get all this out. So it's all these kind of little rope cardboardy sort of ties. So I prefer those to the plastic ones, so which is good. So you can just take those out, and of course those can go in like with the rest of the recycling and stuff like that. So it's good. So the only plastic that you've got really is these bags, which can be recycled. The tape can't be recycled, so you need to put that off. That will need to go in the bin. I can't go in with anything else. And then try and get this other bit of tape off. So in here you get your purple like cape thing. So this is fairly rigid plastic. It's quite a light purple, and you've got like what you call it, like a metal bar essentially going through that way, and you can articulate them either way around. It looks like you've got a peg there where you put that on the back, and then you've got like a little bag, well not bag, wrapping paper, and then in here there's a load of little accessories. So you get your regular null rays. So I'm just going to compare those. those look exactly the same as the Earthrise ones, so you get those. And then you get a different set, which I think is to go with the Coronation kind of set his armour. So you get these two here, which are actually cast in blue plastic and then painted grey. So they've got a different finish to them. You then get these shoulder pieces here. So you got those. And then you get his little helmet thing. So you get all of that. And then we've still got the two bits. So we've got the main figure and his little display stand. So let's see if we can actually get him out. So we'll get out the kind of the hot seat, as it were. So it feels fairly solid. There is a bit of space in the back here, and it looks as if you can peg on the different accessories onto the back here. And then you've got the actual figure himself. So there's a couple more ties. We'll get there eventually. Right, so that should be him set out. Yes, it is. Right. So I'm just kind of messing around with his feet and everything else. So yeah, he more or less looks the same. I'll show you the two of them right here. So actually on camera it looks as if there's some subtle differences with the paints, but you see the hands are different. And these ones are solid here. Some slight paint differences, but essentially it's the same mould, and there's just a few paint differences, like on his legs, and there's the slightly different blue that they've used for the plastic, and the sort of the paint detailing. So this one's got a bit of a lighter blue, and even the red. This red on this one actually is not quite as glossy. Yeah, not quite as glossy as the one on the Earthrise one. You see the two here. This one definitely, the Earthrise one definitely has a bit more of a glimmer and shine on it. So they've kind of dulled down the paint a little bit. And one thing you see as well, where it's grey plastic that they painted over, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and along here, you can see where at the top of these bits here, they've kind of missed like a little bit of red there, so you can just kind of see a bit of the grey coming through. But that's his hand, so they do, it's like on one little joint there, but it does open and close up, whereas the other ones are a solid piece. And there's like a paint app in here, which is missing, which the other one does have. And like I said, the blue that's used on here, it's just a bit of a lighter blue. I don't know if you can see on the side there. You can see it's quite a bit of a different blue. And see the marking down here? This one, the Earthrise one, the Studio Series one doesn't have. I guess is that more of a, because it's supposed to be looking like the cartoon version that is kind of missing that, I guess. Yeah, it could be. And then when you come round on the back, again, you can see the gloss more on this Earthrise one, and there's a couple of extra paint details on here where you got a little bit of a darker grey on this one. So it's mostly, but the articulation, everything is the same. I think you should be able to get him into his throne sort of thing. So I'm just gonna sit him down. Obviously, he sits in there absolutely fine. It's just a bit difficult to kind of show you when we're doing it that way. But when you have it flat, he does sit in there nicely. And I guess you can swap it around, so you could get Megatron or Soundwave or Shockwave or anyone else in there. It probably fits like a Voyager type figure. Is that better? A Voyager sort of figure that better than anything else, I would say. And then let's see if we can get all the stuff added to him as well. So I've messed around with my... Oh, let's go down. I must have messed around with the brightness now, and it's kind of constantly adjusting itself, which is kind of annoying. How do I get that bit off? I think that's locked now, so it should stay that bright. Yeah, so in terms of adding the pieces, I mentioned about the piece at the back. So how does that go on? Let's have a little look in the instructions. The one thing it shows you is that with this, all the kind of guns and things like store in here. So you can store these with the weapons in here, then the other guns on the back here, and then the cape up here as well, and even this piece on here, I think, even the little thing on there. So that's pretty good. And then for the actual all the other bits, it shows you first of all putting these arm pieces on. So it's kind of, there's these bits here, and there's a little peg in it, and you just fold it out, and that will peg into the side of his arm. And there's another little thing in here as well, which is going to be for the null ray, so you'll have to fold that down as well. So you just kind of fit it over this bit here. Just got to line it up like that, and then you can then use the kind of painted variant one and peg it into the side of there, which is pretty good actually, because it gives you it's not like right close to his arm, so it gives you the option of kind of moving it around a little bit more. So I think that's pretty decent. And then you get the other one on the other side, and pull this down. I mean, obviously I'm in the garage again today, but it is absolutely sweltering today. It must be the hottest day of the year. But normally even in the garage it's cooler, but even in the garage it feels hot today. So you peg that on. So it's pretty easy to do. You can then get hold of the throne thing, and that'll just slot on his head. I don't know if the head's any different. I think the eyes are slightly different. It does look like a slightly different head mold, with the eyes being a bit more, a bit clearer on the on this version here. Yeah, and that just fits over his head really nicely. It's well painted as well, with gold and red tips like that. And then this bit here, you kind of pull this bit up, looks like, and then it looks like he just pegs it into this hole here. It looks like it would be too low for it, but that's where it says to peg it in. pegs in like that. And then that bit kind of folds down. Yeah, and then he's okay. Yeah, and then you've got your cape, which you can it doesn't, because this bit here pegs in. It's kind of feels like a bit of a weird sort of fit, really. But that is where it's supposed to go in. I don't know if it's I don't know if maybe what you're supposed to do is fold it in half like that, so it's like that. So when he's standing up like that, it's an even pose. And then when he's supposed to be, say, he's swishing his arm out one way, it's a bit more dynamic like that. I think that's how it's supposed to go, which is a clever idea actually. They've done that well, I think. He can't sit on the throne with all of that on, but he does look good. Yeah, and then the other bits the other guns, you can obviously peg those on as you wish. I don't think I'll go through like transformation or anything else like that, because it all looks more or less the same as the Earthrise version, really. There's a few subtle differences. I think there maybe it's even like a little bit darker grey on this, maybe. It's hard to tell, but it's cool that you can peg on all these extra bits as well. You know, you can peg all of these onto the back here as well. It's quite an expensive set, so I think it's like 50, something like that. You can peg all these onto here, and then you've got little pegs underneath here for the other bits. So worth getting. Obviously, I've got the Earthrise Starscream, so it's one of those ones, isn't it? I expect other people are in the same boat picking this guy up. This guy's good, but with him being so similar to the other one, you know, there is very subtle differences. I'm probably going to end up selling this Earthrise version, I think, and keeping hold of the Coronation 36 version. How I have Starscream displayed, who knows? Maybe you could go on display like this, and then maybe I could have Galvatron or someone in the foreground ready to blast him and absolutely obliterate the guy. But he's a pretty good figure, to be fair. Yeah, I would say he's worth picking up. Actually, you know, the set is pretty nice. The quality of it all, there's nice paint apps added, and it works really well. And this is, you know, pretty decent. You know, even if you're not going to use it for Starscream, you could use it for Megatron, I think. So it's worth doing. Obviously, you can hold the null rays in his hand, but it's nice that he's got like an open hand, so he can almost seem like he's pointing the thumbs or anything. Don't move. But yeah, it's a neat little thing. It's a clever little thing there, you know, to have him, you know, being able to point out that way and this bit kind of flay out a little bit. I think that's quite clever, that, and nice what they've done with these null rays on the side, that they can sort of individually articulate. The crown is nice. It's all really well done, in fact. A little nitpick about, I mentioned about the paint across the top here, but other than that, he's a nice figure. Yeah, you know, nothing to complain about, really. Very nice. If you've got the Earthrise Starscream, you kind of know what you're getting. You know it's a good mould and everything else like that. Yeah, I mean, in terms of buying him, like, if you've got the Earthrise one, you might want to just stick where you are. But if you haven't, it's well worth getting. I guess if you've got the Earthrise one, you can always sell it like I'm doing with this one. But yeah, it's tricky, isn't it, with Hasbro with all the repaints and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm finding myself having to be a lot more conservative and kind of pick and choose what stuff I'm getting now from the main line, and really think, you know, what they're doing in terms of like repaints and stuff like that, and trying not to get too many either repaints or the same character. So it's a bit of a balancing act, but we're getting there. I'll try and do some more reviews. I'm aware that it's been a little bit quiet on the channel, so I'll try and get some more reviews up for you shortly. Thanks for watching if you have been, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye for now.